Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Eye to Eye Live. It's time for our weekly Disney Hangout. Thank you for being here. Whether you're watching this live or on the replay, we really appreciate you taking even just a few minutes of your time just to hang out with us, whether it's on one of these streams, on one of our other videos that we do on this channel, or anything else we do in between social media-wise. We really appreciate you spending your valuable time with us here as part of our little family within the Disney family. So welcome. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about mainly the topic that I have at hand, the Groundhog Day. I know it's Groundhog Day. It's already come and gone. He's already, how do you say his name? Puxatani Phil, something like that. He's already seen his shadow. He's already said that there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, I believe. Wait, no. Let me back that up. I believe he said actually that it was going to be an early spring. It's hard to keep track, honestly, of what groundhog to pay attention to, because you've got Puxatani Phil, who's like apparently the official one, but then you've also got like every region's got their own groundhog to pay attention to. So I don't know. Whatever yours said is what it's going to be. It's either going to be 6 more weeks of winter or spring's going to come early. They're all going to be wrong no matter what, because no matter what, it's going to, especially here in the southeast where we are, it goes up and down all around. I mean, it is just hard to put up with the weather here in the southeast, because, one day it's sweltering hot, the next day it's freezing cold. But anyway, enough of me griping about that tonight. So, in the vein of Groundhog Day, what I thought would be fun for us to talk about tonight is the scenario of, let's say you were a groundhog. Just imagine yourself furry, big old teeth, getting picked up by an old man in a top hat. But imagine it was in a Disney park. Imagine that you saw your shadow. And you know what happens if he sees his shadow. He's supposed to go into hiding back in his burrow for 6 more weeks because winter is still here. So we're going to pretend that you are in one of the Disney parks and you got stuck for 6 more weeks in that park. Which one would you want it to be? I think it begs an interesting question, because I think it will it'll say a lot about what is actually your favorite park, because I've had to do some thinking about this, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a ranking tonight, and I'm not sold on what I'm going to pick tonight, because I haven't made up my mind completely yet, to be honest with you. I thought I had, but I haven't. So that's what's mainly going to be our topic tonight, but as always, this is a weekly Disney Hangout, so anything's up for grabs. If you'd like to talk about the trailers from the Super Bowl, if you'd like to talk about anything else from the world of Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, all that in between, we can talk about that right here. Just feel free to comment along and make sure you're smashing that like button as we get going in here. With that being said, let me give you a couple little heads up here. Some things that I always want to bring your attention to as we get started tonight. The main thing is, if you have not checked out our previous Disney Trivia Night, it was about Magic Happens, the parade coming to Disneyland. Make sure you go check that out. We'll talk a little bit at the end about that as well. We'll also be announcing the new Disney Trivia Night theme as well. That's coming up later on in the show. And we'll also be talking about our Facebook group, which is on, obviously, Facebook, but we'll be there talking about, just anything and everything Disney, and we hope that you would want to come over there, hang out with us, and just have a good time over there. And so those are just the pre-conversation announcements. A couple of people are popping in already. Miss Pamela is here. She says, "Hey, Kyle, just wanted to pop in and say have a great stream." Oh, and Mouse Talk is here. I pushed Mouse Talk when I meant Pamela. She said, or Mouse Talk said, "What's up, Kyle? Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here, Mouse Talk." Walt and Melissa. Pamela said, "I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, have a great live stream, hang out. I've got company over, so I'll see you and Jessica Thursday night." Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you smashing that like button, too, before you pop on out of here. So as you guys come in, just let me know who's here. We'll obviously be hanging out here for the next 30 minutes. So just tweeted out the stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's always appreciated, Walt. Like I said, at any moment, if you guys would like to talk about anything different, bring it up. But I thought we would talk through mainly the topic that I had at hand, the Groundhog Day scenario of you're a groundhog in a Disney park. You've seen your shadow, which means you have to stay there and hide for the next 6 weeks. Which park is it going to be? Now, the question is, how do we whittle it down to all these? Because we don't have time to talk about every Disney park. I mean, there's 2 in Tokyo, 1 in Shanghai, 1 in Hong Kong. Those are actually shut down right now because of coronavirus. So that makes it a little bit easier on that. I know, too soon. You've got 2 out in Paris. You've got 4 in Walt Disney World. And if we count the water parks, too, I'm not going to count them in my list here, but if you count them, that even adds some more there. And you've got 2 out in California to go into the mix here. So I would love to hear your perspective that if you have a park that you had to stay in for 6 weeks, you're a groundhog, you saw it, your shadow, and you have to stay there for 6 weeks, which one would it be? Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I do think this reveals a lot about what your true favorite park is. Because I think we all have a favorite one, but I think we'd all want to say that we like every one of them, especially those of us that are Walt Disney World fans. But, you know, this really makes you sit down and say, can I really be stuck there for 6 weeks and not lose my mind? And I think for a couple of them, I probably could. Sorry, I had a little get a pop off the water there. But yeah, so I've got a top 5, and mainly it's a top 5 because I've only been to 5 Disney parks. It's going to be no shock there that I haven't extended beyond the realm of the USA. And last time I ventured out to the West Coast, California adventure wasn't a thing. So there's only 5 true Disney parks that I have actually been to, and that I'll put in my list tonight. But if you have one that you want to share and talk about, please do. And then I'm just going to kind of talk through the ones that I have in my mind tonight about which ones would be like number 5 through 1. So with that being said, I guess I'll get started on my list here. Number 5 for me. It's sad to say that because I've always said that I'm a Epcot guy. I love the festivals. I love the food. I love the edutainment. But if I had to be stuck somewhere for 6 weeks, I don't know that I want it to be Epcot. And here's why. We'll take a couple of scenarios here. The Death March, that is the World Showcase. I love the World Showcase, but I call it the Epcot Death March. You will at some point die of overeating, heat exhaustion, just general exhaustion. I just can't muster the energy to walk that every single day. I don't think. Maybe there's a possibility Kyle could, but I just don't think that's possible. So Epcot is going to be at the bottom of my list because of that fact. The World Showcase, having to walk that every day. There's not a lot of rides currently. Now with Guardians of the Galaxy coming, might be a little different. I don't know. Could be. There might be some changes in that. But, you know, I love Test Track. I love Soarin'. I bet Ratatouille is going to be great when it gets here. But I'm just going off the parks as is right now. I just don't know that I can justify staying 6 weeks in Epcot. Plus, I'll overeat myself. Now, it makes it a little interesting if there's a festival going on at the time. If there's a festival going on at the time, we can talk then, because that's when things really get interesting with the eating and all that kind of stuff. But with the lack of rides, the amount of walking you've got to do. Now, there's a way to think about it. If you're stuck somewhere for 6 weeks, you can, technically take, I forget how many pavilions there are now. I should know this off the top of my head. I think it's like 12 or something like that. So you could spend 1 week really focusing on 2 of those and getting to know them, knowing every nook and cranny of those World Showcases. But then you've got to walk to the next ones. I don't know. It's just, to me, it seems like Epcot truly has to go at the bottom, number 5 for me, of the ones that I would least like to be stuck in for 6 weeks. So I think that is where that one sits. And that one was actually the easy choice for me. It's going to get tougher and tougher because I think they're great. Some comments coming in here. Runaway Railway is right around the corner over at Hollywood Studios. It is, and I don't want to factor in the attractions that are coming into my decision making process, because I don't think I have to take it as is right now. But it is just around the corner. We'll be doing trivia night about that very soon in the near future. Not this week, but coming up very soon. But yeah, so Epcot at the bottom. So here's the dilemma I have. I'm an animal guy. I love me some Animal Kingdom. Hollywood Studios probably has the best collection of rides that you would love to do over and over and over again, in terms of, I mean, you got to think about Tower of Terror. You got to think about Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Midway Mania, Smuggler's Run, Rise of the Resistance, and they haven't even added, as Mouse Talk brought up, Runaway Railway at that. So there's a lot there in terms of re-rideability, but it's such a small park. There's not a lot to explore and to take in terms of sights and sounds. So I'm not saying my number 4 just yet, because I'm actually still in mode right now trying to process this, trying to process where I'm going to put all these things. Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, I think, are going to be high up at the top just because of that. So right now that's struggling between Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. And I think I'm going to have to make number 4 Hollywood Studios, because I get it. The rides are great, but it's such a small park. And I could imagine walking all day through Galaxy's Edge and all night, but eventually, it's not that it would lose some magic for me. It just would get kind of redundant, because there's not a lot of places to go at all. I would just, I would say that's probably where I'm thinking about this. Mouse Talk says, nope, I beg to differ. Magic Kingdom's still at number 1. Big Thunder, Pirates, Space, Mine Train, Peter Pan, Jungle Cruise, Splash Mountain, and much more. Yeah. No, I see. And when I say the best collection of rides, I'm talking about thrill factor coupled with interactivity. I think no one's going to take the cake from Magic Kingdom, maybe Disneyland, in terms of the feeling that you get from being on those rides. There's some thrill ones there, Thunder, Space, and Splash, that really, really bring it home for you. But I think in terms of just overall thrill factor, you get really excited for these rides. Hollywood Studios really, really, really takes the cake there. But still, they go in at number 4, because just not a lot of room to go around. And there's not like that, I just want to be in this place kind of feel for a long, outside of Galaxy's Edge. So to recap, again, we'll keep recapping along the way. We're talking about, just for those of you that may be popping in now or watching late on the video, we're talking about I'm a Groundhog, and on February 2nd, I was in a Disney park and saw my shadow, which means I have to stay there for 6 weeks. So which one do I hope it is? So number 5 was Epcot. Number 4 was Hollywood Studios. And these are the only ones that I've been to, so your list may be different from mine. Number 3, and this is where it gets really, really, really tough, because the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland are up there, and then there's the whole Animal Kingdom thing. Oh boy. There's not a lot of rides at Animal Kingdom. However, there is the best ride at Animal Kingdom. It is a zoo, whether Disney wants you to think that or not. It is a zoo. They have animals there under human care, so by definition, it pretty much is a zoo in some capacity. It's a zoo combined with a theme park, an amusement park, theme park. But think about the expanse and all there is to see and explore. If you think about that, it really does kind of what Hollywood Studios lacks in terms of things to see and just take in. The animals are always changing and doing new things. They're not stagnant. They're not on some loop like an animatronic or live. They can do different things these days. Some days they won't come out. Some days they'll come in. The safari is different every time. There's a place to cool down in Cali River Rapids. It's got some great eating locations. So I think Animal Kingdom has a lot going for it, but the one thing it doesn't have is that just simple, I have to go back and, you know, and or I can not I shouldn't say that I want to stay there for 6 weeks in a row. So Animal Kingdom would be number 3. Disney Nerd Herders is here. What is going on? Says hi everyone. Stacy here. Oh, 6 weeks. Animal Kingdom, Pandora, Everest, Safari Ride. So yeah, it's a great pick. So just for since you popped in now, I'm giving you my top 5 based on the ones I've been to, which includes the Walt Disney World parks and Disneyland. Number 5 for me was Epcot. This is like the list of top 5 that I would want to be stuck in this order. Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and then it would be Animal Kingdom. Just simply for, we talked about the things bad about Epcot were so big, not a lot of attractions in terms of the thrill aspect and things like that. Lots of great food, but just kind of doesn't really appeal to being there for 6 weeks. The Hollywood Studios, not a lot to see, a lot to do. Just get really small. Not a lot of great eating places either. That's another knock for it. But Animal Kingdom, a lot of great eating places, a lot of dynamics, things to see and do over and over again. But it's just hard to top the Magic Kingdom or to even top the Disneyland experience. I haven't been to Disneyland in quite some time because we haven't traveled that much. I went when I was probably about 12 years old. I can pretty well remember it, and obviously, you stay up to date on these things, so you kind of know what's going on in Disneyland, what's the experience there. So the question is, though, if I had to get stuck somewhere, as the parks are right now, for 6 weeks, I'm a groundhog, saw my shadow, Magic Kingdom or Disneyland. Magic Kingdom does have my favorite ride, the best ride in anywhere, which is Space Mountain. Come on, we all know that. Space Mountain is the absolute best thing in the world. It's just the best ride ever. Disney Nerd Herder says, let me back up here. I love Epcot, love the food, and more relaxed, as in rides. Test Track is the only thrill ride there. Yeah, so, and that's part of my reason. If they love Test Track, it's one of my favorite rides at Disney World. It's just, after that right now, until Guardians of the Galaxy, as is right now, that's the one thing that really gets me excited for riding there. I mean, I like Soarin'. Soarin's great. I love riding Spaceship Earth. I mean, I don't dislike riding anything, but it doesn't get me as excited as Test Track does. Or there's more to get excited about in Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Disneyland. So, which is it? Magic Kingdom, Disneyland. Disneyland has the factor, I haven't been recently, so there's less of that, not that there ever is, but that wear-off factor. Did I say Magic Kingdom? Disneyland. Magic Kingdom, it's got my favorite ride. It's got the original place of my favorite snack, which is the Dole Whip, though you can get one anywhere now. It's got a lot of other great eating and snack locations. It's got Happily Ever After in terms of Magic Kingdom. Disneyland is the original park, though. For me, I think where I'm sitting at right now, 6 weeks, stuck in a park between Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. And I'm taking so long not because I'm trying to leave you in suspense, because I'm really trying to make my decision here. The answer I want to give you is that I would spend 6 weeks in Magic Kingdom. But I think where I'm sitting right now, I think number 2 would have to be Magic Kingdom, and Disneyland would have to be number 1, because simply I have not been there in so long, and I think it would wear off not as quick because of that fact. So that is simply what is going to push that over the edge for me in terms of that. So I'll get into that in just a second about maybe why I make that decision. Disney Nerd Herder says lots happening in Hollywood Studios. I have not been to Disneyland, so Magic Kingdom is my pick. Fair enough. I just think Disneyland I have not experienced since I was little. I'm sure I didn't do the bobsled, the Matterhorn. I know I didn't do Indiana Jones because I was scared of it, and it's basically dinosaur. I know they've got their own version of Space Mountain, which gives it a plus. It's got a lot of cool eating places that I really would like to try there. Heard something about this something Bengal barbecue, which is supposedly really great. It's got Galaxy's Edge. Come on, that's a plus there too. And it's the place that Walt walked. The history there, I think I could, and there's history in the Magic Kingdom too, but I just think that I could really dive into Disneyland for 6 weeks and come away feeling like I didn't see everything. And it's smaller, more rides packed in, so that you got to think about that too. There's more rides packed into this thing. I just think the one thing I would miss is the nighttime of our Tomorrowland here at Magic Kingdom and the nighttime show Happily Ever After. It is, that's a tough call, but I think Disneyland gets it right now. He said drum roll, but that was a little bit earlier, and I didn't see that till now. But yes, Magic Kingdom number 2. So to recap, top 5. I'm stuck in a Disney park for 6 weeks. Where am I going to go? Or where do I hope I'm stuck at? Because I'm a groundhog and I just saw my shadow based off the 5 that I've been to. Epcot, number 5. Right there, number 5. Number 4, Hollywood Studios. Can't get my numbers right. 3, Animal Kingdom. Number 2, Magic Kingdom. Number 1, Disneyland. Now, I would say that if you would ask me what my favorite park is, Disneyland, it immediately gets removed to the bottom because I'm a Disney World guy. So Epcot does have that going for it right now, that as of right now, I would much rather go to Epcot than Disneyland. A, because it's closer. I'm familiar with it. I don't like change. So there you have it. My top 5 of what I would do as where I hope I would be as a groundhog. So it's a little bit off the wall topic that I just thought I'd throw out there tonight, trying to see if you guys found that interesting or not. So if you haven't, please share me your top whatever, if you're watching this live or even on the replay, what you thought it might be in terms of where you'd like to be stuck at in terms of a Disney park. What's your top 1? What's your number 2, 1, 3, 4, however far it goes. If you've been through all of them, whew, God bless you. But let me know down there in the comment section what you think about that. So what I think I'll do is I'll probably wrap this up here tonight and kind of tie a bow on this topic and give you a couple of updates before we head on out of here, like I've promoted at the top of the show tonight. So let me do this real quick. If you haven't, come on over to our Disney Trivia Night and check that out. There was Magic Happens last week. If you missed that, you can go watch that on the replay. And just in case you're interested, we do keep track of points. There, you need to bring that up just a little bit. There's our Trivia Night leaderboard currently. Allie Rose is still in the lead. Very narrow lead there. But if you want to be part of that board, you need to come to Disney Trivia Night. And then it finally is time. I think, let me actually pull this down. We're going to go ahead and reveal the theme for Trivia Night this week. So if you're here watching right now, you are ahead of the game and you know what to study for. Remember, there's 20 questions on Trivia Night. 10 of them are about the theme. 10 are just random ones to kind of make it a little bit fair. So here is your theme. Disney and Lucasfilm. The relationship that it is. So it will be related to, obviously, some form or fashion of that relationship, whether it be parks, movies, technology, history, anything and everything in between. Lucasfilm and Disney is fair game. It's a very significant date for that. Trivia Night, I'm sorry, I thought I had, and I need to remember to put that on the cue card there. It is at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday nights. Every Thursday night is Trivia Night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time is where you want to be to hang out with us, because we have a lot of fun over there. And Orlando guy, I forgot to say hello to you when you popped in here. He says, hey, howdy, hey howdy, hey to you do as well. Disney Nerd Herder says, I'd love to be stuck in any Disney park for 6 weeks. Amen to that. Amen to that. That is just a great statement right there. So there you have it. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. It was a shorter stream tonight, but I hope you enjoyed hearing about what my perspective of where I'd like to be stuck for 6 weeks if I was a groundhog in a Disney park. And please do share what you would rank those parks. parks or where you'd like to be in the comments section below. Thank you for being here tonight. I hope to see you next Monday when we're here live again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, Thursday night, 7:15 p.m. for Disney Trivia Night. Lucasfilm and Disney is the theme. I hope to see you there. And until we assemble again, my friends, may the Force be with you. And we'll see you real soon.